Yes, sir. We back at it again. But we still got to get this work. Hey, it's been a long weekend, but it's been blessed overall. But let this stick. Foundation. I said foundation. Let me say it a third time so you can understand foundation. Oftentimes we stroll through life, man, but we ain't stable. A lot of us are unstable creatures. We don't have no plan. We ain't set no goals. But we have this high expectation for life. Life to just be prosperous. We need a foundation. Something to stand on. I got 5 quick things I want to run through to help us maneuver through life in a better way. 1, stop taking the path that is unstable. Hey, man, we got to stop jumping out in different situations, man, and it is not stable, meaning it ain't good for your life going forward. The situation is not going to make you prosperous. It's not going to bring the best out of you. We need to stop being unstable and hold ourselves accountable. You know, some of the decisions we make, sometimes we know it ain't no good, but we keep going back to it. We keep diving all in it. We're unstable. And a lot of time we create unstable groups. That's called a bad relationship. You unstable, they unstable. When you come together, y'all both unstable. Just a bigger anchor. Number 2, foundation is important. Because a lot of times folk like having nice things, but no place to put it in. Man, I don't need a whole lot of nice stuff, but I ain't got no house to put it in. I don't want a lot of nice stuff, and I ain't got no foundation for it to stand on. Because guess what? With no foundation, you'll have a lot of nice things. But eventually, those nice things are going to go because it don't have nothing strong to stand on. Man, number 3. Relationship one-on-one. The way you know you're in a good relationship is if you see or you're able to analyze the growth in your relationship. That means you're not the same you from when you first started. Or physical way, you can see that you have more now than you had then. There should be some type of evolution when 2 spirits combine. When 2 people come together, you should be able to see more. Your thoughts ought to be more. You ought to be doing things you never thought you would do. Your mentality ought to change. There ought to be some type of increase in you and the individual you're dealing with. If it's not, it's because you're not on a strong foundation. Number 4, you can always tell the success of a relationship or a family if you focus on how you set it up. A lot of times, folk dive into certain situations, but don't realize they didn't set things up the right way. It's not shocking that things fail. It's not shocking that things go wrong in a relationship when folk don't set things up right. And see, when you get so deep in the game and you ain't set it up right, it's hard to go back to the beginning and change and make new alterations. Because other people going to look at you, well, you didn't say that at the beginning. You wasn't acting like that at the beginning. So focus more on how you set things up before you get into long-term agreements. I'm very particular on how I want to live my life and what I want to do. So when it comes to certain people, places, and things, from the jump, I'm going to tell you, this is me. This is what I like. This is how things should be. How do you feel about this? This is my perspective on life. How do you feel about that? Because you can't get deep into something and then you can change it, but it's going to be hard to better a relationship or change some things that you don't like once you done got deep into the relationship and didn't voice your opinion or the things you do and don't like at the beginning. Set things up right. Because otherwise, it ain't shocking that things go left at the end or in the middle or some in the beginning. Why? Foundation. Not having a strong foundation, not setting things up the right way. man, I get so frustrated sometimes because you see folk in relationships and things go left. But then when you have a conversation with them or you have counseling with them and you hear some of the things at the beginning, all these red flags were there, but nobody was listening or paying attention. Now you're in a uncomfortable position because things weren't set up right. So that's why you got to have a strong foundation. The last thing, oh man, it's tough. It's tough because, you know, it's a easy, when Eve said love is blind. Oh man, some of these things will blind you, but this will blind you. Stop mistaking a good relationship with good times. Just because you're having a good time don't mean you have a good relationship. You being caught in the moment. No, don't let these good times blind you or get you caught up to a point where you think that you're in a great relationship because y'all look good together. Y'all can dress alike. You had a good date. The sex is wonderful. The kiss is amazing. Oh, but what about the groundwork? How are you going to keep these things going? You cannot without a strong foundation. It's going to eventually crumble, and the foundation, or the foundation that you thought you had, will reflect, and it will prove that you need to either work on it or you're really not in a good relationship. That's why oftentimes you see people get into relationships and it don't last. As quick as you jump in, you're ready to jump out. Why? Because you don't have no foundation. You was caught up on the good times, but not really focusing on the work. Communication, understanding, find out what people like. Some people in relationships and don't even know they mate's favorite color, but they say in a good relationship because they have a good time. Or we're in the social media era where, oh man, you see how many likes we got? They caught up in all the wrong things that don't keep a relationship going, a healthy relationship going. So foundation is important. Man, phenomenal story about my brother. He told me he got his master's in Shenzhen, China, #1 import export in the world. So whatever you see, most of the things you see out here in the streets, out here in the stores, out here even in your house, 9 times out of 10 came through there first. Man, he came home one summer and told me the story about foundation. The tallest building in China. The tallest building in China took the Chinese 4 years to build a foundation. 4 years to build a foundation. That means 365 days, 4 times, they were working on just the groundwork to put up the tallest building in China. Ask me this. Guess how long it took to put the building up? 4 months. That's a lifelong fact to prove how important it is to have a strong foundation. Only 4 years to work on the ground, to get the thing flat, get the structure right, get it on the bedrock, and only 4 months to put the building up. Foundation is important. Let this stick. A lot of folk envy and love what they see from people on the outside. But before you love and envy a person or a family or a couple, ask them what they do behind closed doors. Because there's a lot of people out here putting in some real work. And they have a strong foundation. So that's why they're able to be established for as long as they are. Quick note. Restaurants, businesses. When you go and you see somewhere say established for this long, a long time, ask the owner or Google the reason why they've been open that long. You want to know why? They got a strong foundation. We out. Oh yeah. And by the way, big shout out to my wife, T. Pitts. your realtor, for passing her South Carolina real estate exam. We knew you can do it. Congratulations. Oh, yeah, for the North Carolina, South Carolina takeover. South Carolina, we in business. But yeah, I just wanted to give a big shout out to my wife. Love you. And keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing the phenomenal work. True testament that you can do anything you put your mind to. Eee.